Good morning, I'm here at the Gem Hotel at Alberton, and today's walk is going to be from here at the Gem Hotel all the way to Harrigan's, going through Norwell and Woongoolba, and don't know too much about it. I have driven through it before, but this is my first time walking. So it's a long walk, this one, but I want to see if I can get to Harrigan's in time for happy hour. Will I make it? Find out at the end. Rather lovely area here has been earmarked for the development of the Coomera connector. It's a long highway that's going to parallel the M1. So I think according to the maps, the new highway is going to be just over there in that field, running north to south. Well, south to north as well, you've got to go both ways. I'm now in Alberton. If you look on an old map here, this is the 1860s, you can see that there was a township set aside for this area. The township never really went ahead. There's houses here certainly, but it never developed into anything really huge. And a doggy barking at me. Now, I'm going to make sure I take the right road here. I thought that was a real zebra then. So the Logan River here was a boundary between two different Aboriginal peoples. You have the Yugambeh on this side of the river, on the south side of it, and just over there, that is Yagara territory. I think that's how you may pronounce it. Please someone correct me in the comments if I got it wrong. And this whole area here, the Alberton area, was once the site of a very large borer ring. Huge place. No one's ever been able to find out exactly where it was. It's long gone now. It was ploughed out in the 1950s, unfortunately. But it may have been, because this was a tribal boundary, it may have been a place, obviously a sacred place, where people from the different tribes, the different clans, could come here and meet in peace and exchange and do whatever they did. Apparently the circle, there was a very large circle to the north, and then there was a long processional way, like a walkway, and then a smaller circle beneath. But between the two of them, there was some sort of circular stone structure, like a hut or something like that. Would have been incredible if we still had that today. So all of this area here, this extensive area from here to the bay, it was all sugarcane. In fact, the sugarcane industry in southeast Queensland was massive in the 19th century. Beenleigh, which is just back that way, was the centre of the sugarcane growing area. And it's still an extensive area down here, but I think there's going to be some development very soon. I'll talk about that in a while in the video. And because there was so much sugarcane industry here, many of the farmers, the cane farmers, employed the Kanakas, the South Sea Islanders, who were pressed into service to work on the sugarcane farms.
Time, 1 hour. Distance, 4.28 kilometers.
That's Mount Stapleton up there. A lot of people think that the original name for it was Yellowwood Hill. Yellowwood Hill is an old name for the mountain, but even on the earliest maps, you go back to the 1850s and 60s, it says that it's Mount Stapleton. I did read what the indigenous name for it was. Can't remember, but I'll put it just down below there. So lovely and quiet here.
Time 1 hour 20 minutes. Distance 5.41 kilometers.
Well, except for my phone giving me an update. Just checking where I am. I've come to a crossroads and I'm looking for St. Peter's Lutheran Church, and I think it's that way. It says Alberton Road, so... Alright. I think this is the right way to go. It's one of the things I've noticed walking, or one of the things I've noticed... Oh, there's a duck. So I just passed St. Peter's Lutheran Church, and there are a couple of cars pulling up, and I was interested in the church and just get a little bit of information about it. And saw an old chap there, and I said, "Oh, are you here to open up this morning?" Because it was, 9 o'clock, 9ish. And he said, "No, I'm not opening." I said, "Oh, well, do you know when the church was built? I'd be interested to find out." "Well, I don't know." Okay, bye-bye. Didn't seem too keen on talking about it. Like, I was reading a book called Reflections on a Lost Island. In it, the recollections of many of the people who long-time residents here would always talk about, in days gone by, they could leave their front doors open. There was no, trouble with crime. One big community. Of course, it's often what you get in agricultural areas. But walking around the area today, I see a lot of signs saying, security warnings and trespassers will be prosecuted and video camera surveillance, and it's kind of a bit of a siege mentality around here, it seems. Just found a cricket match. I'm walking along Zips Road, and German name. There's a lot of German names because there was a lot of German settlement here in the mid-19th century, mid-late 19th century. I'm looking for the cemetery, which is along here, and I think it's just a little bit further up here on the right. Hello. Hello, doggies. Hello. Hello, doggies. They're not dangerous doggies?
No.
Oh, good, okay. Hello, doggies. Hello, doggies.
They just like taps and saying hello.
Oh, well, I can deal with that. Have a good day. I got here to the cemetery and it's bolted and locked. I always thought cemeteries were open during the day.
Time 2 hours. Distance 8.18 kilometers.
This grave here isn't even in English, because it doesn't have to be. It's all in German. Nice place you got here. That's a nice cemetery, nice little spot, very, very quiet. And I've just realised something. Here's the gate. I didn't need to climb over the other one. Maybe I should just edit that bit out. Oh, yeah. Actually, there's a plaque there. I'm going to go have a look. Squeeze back through the gate. This plaque is to mark the erection of the first Lutheran church in this area to the glory of God, 1869 to 1886. Well, the plaque was a lot more informative than the guy at St. Peter's Lutheran. Aggeston Road, and just ahead of me is Jacob's Well Road. Aggeston Road's been pretty quiet, but Jacob's Well Road, even on a Sunday, can be very busy, and I think the speed limit's about 80 k's an hour, may even be 100, I'm not sure, but I've got to walk along that road. I've got to make a left turn, and there's no footpaths, so I'm going to have to take extra care. I'm on Jacobs Well Road now, and I'm just going to try and move along this as quickly and safely as possible. I know it's only an agricultural area, but it would be great to have a footpath here. Busy road, and it's quite a long one too. A slight change of plan. I'm getting off Jacobs Well Road, which is just there. It's really busy, and it's a wide road, but there's not a lot of space for pedestrians. There's an alternate route I can take that way. It's called Love's Road. It's going to be a bit of a longer journey, but I think it's going to be a safer one, and really it's just so noisy there. But first I'll have something to eat. An isotronic energy thing, SIS, Science in Sport. It's really odd. It's just like glue or something. It kind of tastes like how I imagine glue would. Alright, quick little refreshment, then I'll get going. And I'm going that way. I remember to bring something to eat or slurp this time. This is much nicer. Now you can really get a feel for the landscape here. You can see how just flat it is in this part here, sugarcane all around. And over here, it looks like they've been doing some rock stacking. How bizarre and wonderful that rock stacking was back there. If I hadn't taken a detour off Jacobs Well Road, I never would have found it. You get the opportunity to see details like that you don't see when you're racing past in a car. That was wonderful. I think these trees here are Melaleuca or tea tree trees. If so, this was the dominant forest cover in the area before European settlement. I've just left Love's Road, and I don't know if this is a gazetted road or not, or if it's private property. According to the map, it's a road going right through. Oh, looks a bit private here. There's nobody around to ask either. Of course, I don't want to trespass on anyone's property. The map says there's a road here, but there's a gate up the back there. It is open, but it looks like it's private land. Wish it was better signed around here. And I really want to be getting that way. Keep going. There's fish in there. I recently saw a development plan for this entire area, and it's called the Pacific City Project Development something. It's going to be an entirely new city. This is the plan anyway. I don't know if it's going ahead yet. All of the sugarcane area, everything apparently, it's, from what I've read, it's just not economically viable anymore. There's a lot of the cane growers are saying that they just want to sell up and move on. So a big new city's been planned for here, and it's going to cover pretty much everything here. It's all going to get built on, and new canals put through, and highways, and because where we are now is right between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. It's on the M1, it's on the Coomera Connector Road, and there's also the railway line. Helensvale train station's a bit further off that way down there. Certainly I think it's going to be one of the largest land developments ever in Queensland history, and it's going to be right here. This big area over here, this big flat area here, this was part of the old Logan River Channel. There's an 1864 map which, if I'm reading it correctly, starting from the Logan River a bit further north and sweeping through this area and going out to southern Moreton Bay there used to be a channel of the Logan River. It probably split into two, and over time this is filled in and is now agricultural land. This is probably one of the lowest lying parts in sort of the Norwell Wingulba area. An interesting thing about the word Wingulba is that in indigenous language, the one spoken around here, it means G-bung tree. But there's also another translation which means, well, the word is snotty gobbles. Ahead of me is the very famous, the very iconic Rocky Point sugar mill. I was told by someone I have to walk on the right side of the road if there's no footpath. It always feels like I should walk on the left. It feels like the right thing to do, but someone said you got to walk on the right, so I'm walking on the right. And apparently it's the only privately owned sugar mill in Australia. It's been in the same family since 1878. And I don't know, first impressions, to me it looks a little run down. It is a ruin. I don't even... Is this thing still working, or is this maybe just an old part and they're building a new part somewhere? And this is the other side of the road from the mill, and it looks like it was once a house here. There's a pile of rubbish there in the background which is smouldering. Here's an old butcher's, established 1926. W. Heck Butcher. What do we got here? Childcare and kindergarten, and they got a free library. Let's have a look inside. Ooh. They're all kids' books, except for that one. And right next door to the little childcare place is Bethlehem Lutheran Church, established 1882 on Pimpama Island. I've come around the back of the church. Here it is here. And the sugar cane's very close. It's only about, what, 10 meters away, and then you're right into the sugar cane crop. All right, quick little stopover at the church. Now I've got to keep going that way. So just a short walk from the church I came from, the 1882 church. This is Horizon Shores Marina, and I'm sure they don't mind someone coming in on foot. So they've got a cafe here, and I'm really hungry, so I'm going to see if I can get something to eat. Should be just around this bend. Alright, next stop on the journey is the Pimpama Cemetery. There's two cemeteries here in the area. This is the second one. There's quite a bit of traffic. Here we go. This here is the grave of Carl Hag. He must be the guy who made the Rocky Point sugar mill that I visited earlier. I'm sure that's the same guy. The mill started in 1878. He was born in 1834, so this must be the guy. What I find really interesting about this old cemetery here is that we're up on top of a hill. In fact, it looks like one of the highest points in this area. And it's never been farmed, it's never been grazed. This was a cemetery very early on. I don't know, to me that makes it kind of feel more like a special place. It was cut straight out of the primordial wood. And so many names I recognize here from the streets that I've been walking on. And from further afield, like there's a Theodore and Anna Span. There's Span's Road at Beenleigh. Alright, what's next? Oh, I'm going to go and find something that's a little bit more personal for me. This area here where I'm walking is called Scops Road, and it's in Norwell. And two things about this place. First of all, apparently if you dig down about 3 meters anywhere in this area, you're going to find shells. So that would indicate that there was, well, it was underwater in the recent past. And the second thing about this area right here on Scops Road is that back in 2017 I directed a movie called One, about the last person on Earth, and this was one of our key locations. The film is nearly finished, just got a few color grade shots to finalize and the end credits, and then we can, all being well, release the movie. Looking to get it into international film festivals and here as well. But this road here is wonderful. It's wonderful for us, wonderful for a film production to come to, because it really looks like it's a million miles away from anywhere. Well, I can tell you there's one thing here I haven't seen in this whole journey, and that's a footpath. I'm heading towards Calypso Bay and Harrigan's for happy hour. Nice to be back. There's a beer waiting for me. Made it to Harrigan's and got my beer during happy hour. It's been a long, exhausting walk, this one, farther than I thought it would be. The band is striking up now, so it's time for me to start thinking about getting home. I feel good too.